And we are live. Happy Monday and happy birthday, Lauren.
Thanks,
Another year
Steph.
older.
Ooh, yeah. Feeling good, feeling strong.
Celebrated this weekend with an awesome event. We had our Savage race.
Yeah, it was a fun way to celebrate. Not gonna
Yeah.
lie. Some of
How's
my
your body
favorite
feeling?
people. Yeah, it was so fun.
Are you feeling sore?
Like in certain spots, like where I clearly have aged more. Like, like my hips and like my knees, but like otherwise, like fitness wise, I felt great. What
Yeah.
about you?
Yeah, I feel definitely found some muscles that I haven't felt in a long time.
Yeah.
Um Weird spots are sore, some cuts, some bruises, but that's what makes it so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we ended up, according to our watches, it was like what, 6.5 miles that we ran, walked, jogged as a group, and we had 28 obstacles.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was
And
muddy.
it only took us 3
It
hours.
only took us 3 hours.
it,
Crazy.
it was so
But
fun. Yeah. It
yeah,
was
and
muddy. It was muddy though. That's what took us so long. Like,
and we had 15 people, and we do it as a group. So we waited for everyone to go through each obstacle. But one thing that was different, I don't think they did this a couple years ago when I did it, is having us start with the ice bath.
yeah, that was terrifying. But also it woke you up. Like you were ready because you were just freezing. We were all jogging in place, like we were huddling, warming each
Yeah.
other up. So it was like awful, but really fun too.
Yeah, I went first because I wanted to get some good footage and I just couldn't think about it. I got in and immediately just you had to
Yeah.
swim underneath it and I dunked my head in and it hurt so good, but it felt good. It was a fun way to start, and I think everybody liked the initial challenge, and then I was just so proud of everybody for doing the race, and a lot of people, it was their first time, I think.
Yeah, yeah. I was looking through the list, and like most of most of our team, it was their first time. I know all the men, it was their first time. Like Mark, Connor, Eric, even Nick and Tyler, like all of them, their first time. And then most of the women, except for us coaches, I think it was their first time too. And it was just so cool to see how many people came out that were like a little nervous. There were lots of moms. We had like a strong mom group. There were a few dads too doing it. So and people that had fear of heights and stuff, like, and little nagging injuries that just decided to join and see what they could do. So it was really cool. We had an amazing group of people, like just so positive. Everyone was so no one complained about anything. Like even the ice bath, we all just kind of like took it, did it, and that was
Yeah.
it. Like, and laughed at ourselves a lot. So
Yeah, we had a great crew. Yeah, great representation of, Oxfit, different gyms, different classes. Everybody came out to try it, but this was our group pick at the end. And those photographers loved us. They were following us around that entire course.
yeah, they were. They got some good photos too. One of my favorite shots, I think we shared it on Instagram this morning, was of our whole team like waiting for someone to get over an obstacle, and we're all like clapping. You can see Shalia at the front of the group, like smiling and clapping, and yeah, that was like basically the energy that we had all day. It was just fun, team camaraderie, cheering
Yeah.
each other on through all the obstacles, whether you finished them or not. Like you fell in the water on an obstacle, you laughed at yourself and you got out and you went and did the next one. So I
Right.
think almost everyone tried all the obstacles.
Yeah, I think everyone did try. And a lot of them were like this pick a Shelby on the monkey bars. We had so many monkey bar obstacles,
Yeah.
and there's Eric on the monkey bars. But it was so crazy how our training just made it that much easier to do everything. And people were nervous about it, but
Yeah.
it's just what I told people. I was like, we hang off bars all the time. We're constantly pulling ropes. We're constantly doing farmers carries. So you guys are strong enough to do this. And I loved watching our
Yeah.
members, especially like Grace and Shalia and Shelby, like be able to do these obstacles. And there were, young men next to them that couldn't even do it just because they
Yeah.
haven't been training for it.
Yeah. Our moms crushed it. Like Grace made it all the way across the monkey bars. Shelby, there wasn't really anything Shelby couldn't do, I feel like, you
Mhm.
know. Shelia was just fearless. Like if it wasn't for Shelia, I don't think I would have done the colossal wall at the end.
Yeah.
So like yeah, it was so fun to see. Like I feel like sometimes moms can get like a stereotype of like not trying new things, you
Mhm.
know, and like because we have so many things on our plate on a day-to-day basis that like I mean, it was funny because some of them talked about doing it for so long, and it took me like 5 attempts at getting Grace and Shelly to finally sign up. But like, you know, they did. They did it. They had fun. They crushed it. So it was such a good time. And yeah, like the strength that everyone had, I don't even think people realize how well they were going to do. Like Izzy crushed all the
Mhm.
swinging obstacles and monkey bars and grip strength ones too. It was so cool to see how the programming that you put together for us the past 8 weeks without people really realizing it. I mean, during training, I think how much it paid off. So
Yeah. And I
yeah.
think it's cool to see just like the attitude of our members, like when you're faced with something that's a little bit different or a little bit new, just because we're constantly trying to introduce new movements and new styles of workouts and new ways to move the equipment we already have.
Yeah.
Like everyone's just so positive. Like you hop on a bar and it starts spinning, and instead of getting frustrated and dropping down, you're just like, all right, well, I guess I'm spinning now. Got to figure this out. Like it
Totally.
just makes it so much more fun to approach everything with an attitude of like, I can do it. I'm gonna try a few times. I'm not just gonna drop down and like walk away.
Yeah.
I think that's what was cool, is seeing how many times everyone fell and they just turned right around and went back and held up the line and and wanted to go
Try again.
again.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, so what were some of the most impressive ones for you? Or like, you know, that we
Um,
crushed or that you had fun on? Like,
I was impressed with my like grip strength and stamina on a lot of
mhm.
the monkey bars.
Yeah.
Um,
You crushed a bunch of
even yeah, even the ones I couldn't do, I was able to just kind of like hang up there with one arm and try
mhm.
to like figure it out. There was a lot where you had to like move a ring or move a peg into a hole and all of that kind of stuff. And
Yeah.
I was impressed just with my stamina on the bar. And
Yeah.
then also how light the weights were. They had a few weighted
Yeah.
things, like you had to pull a chain with a rope and like pull a cinder block. And I was just looking around at like me and the team, and we're just like, this ain't no thing. This is not, yeah, not
Yeah.
even a big deal.
I think people were surprised by how fast we were moving that brick for sure.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then I love that you were like, "Come on, Lauren, let's go pull the men's chain on the other side," because they had
Yeah,
the
that
women's
guy was
chain
like,
and the
"Go
men's
to the
chain.
left. Women's weights are on the left." I was like, "Those men's weights do not look that heavy. I'm gonna go do the men's weights."
We had to show off a little. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was
It
super cool. And the ruck bag, like we all
Yeah.
smashed that one too.
Mhm. Yeah, and it was, everyone, we had I think it was 45 pounds, like a
Mhm.
sandbag, which we have in the gym, but this one had a handle. And everyone that was with us picked it up and they're like, "Oh, nice. It's got a handle." Like, they weren't complaining about how heavy it was. They were just like, "Oh, cool." Like, this is even
Yeah,
easier than what we do in the gym.
yeah. It was so great, and we were just like easily changing shoulders and arms and holding, in different ways and like not stopping at all. Yeah,
Yeah. I think
yeah,
it's such a doing stuff like that, whether it's a Savage Race or, 5K or playing on the playground with your kids, like, not being scared to try something new. I think it's just such a great way to boost your confidence
yeah.
and keep you, believing in why you keep showing up to the gym for an hour every day. It's so that you're able to do whatever you want. And that was
Yeah,
part of my coach's notes this week that people are going to read later today, is
I love
just
that.
believing in what you're doing and kind of trusting in the process. None of us met up on the weekends and practiced any of these movements. None of us strategized about anything. We just
No,
all work out, you know, 4 to 5 times a week at Oxfit like most of our members do, and then we were able to go out and crush the Savage Race. And
yeah,
that's true for all of the events we do, whether it's DECA, running a road race or anything like that.
yeah.
Um, I just want members to take away and from it that they can do anything they want to do. They're already prepared more than they might realize.
Totally. Yeah. And I mean, if this group doesn't prove that, this group that just did it, like majority of them were beginners
Mhm.
or like never done a Spartan or Savage race before. I mean, even myself, I hadn't done one since I had kids, since Leo and Mia. So it's been like 6 years since the
Mhm.
last time I did one. And I've never done a Savage race. I have to say, man, the Savage race blew my mind. Like the obstacles were just so fun, like nothing was that scary, that hard. Like they made it, really approachable for just anyone to try at least. And like nothing was too high, too hard. The water was right there to catch you. And yeah, if you want to do one of these and you sat back and watched, like just don't miss the next chance that we have to do something like this, because I surprised myself even like how much fun I was having. Okay, so they're coming back in the
Yeah.
fall. Yeah, so we're gonna do another one in the fall. I know there were a few of the athletes with us. Literally, like we're soaking wet. We just got down the slide, and we finished. We got our medals, and people were like, "Should we go take advantage of the discount that they have for the next race?" And I'm like, "We're definitely doing another one,
Yeah.
so yeah, might as well." Like that's just how much fun it was, and yeah, like I mean, I've done like 5 or 6 of these over the 10 years, but I haven't done one in 5 years or whatever. And I was just like, wow, I'm just so glad that I didn't chicken out and like decide not to do this for some crazy, stupid reason. Like literally could have missed out on so much fun. So if
Yeah.
that was you, like, man, don't miss your next chance to do this, especially with a group like Oxfit. Like there is not going to be any other group that is going to support you like Oxfit does. Like at the top of that wall, we're there hanging out, waiting for you to climb up a rope, get to the ledge, hold on, and our whole team's there pulling you up. So if there's something you want to do out there, like you're gonna have a whole team of people cheering you on and physically helping you like get across. Like there were muddy, little valleys and stuff, and like Mark was hanging back, holding hands, reaching and grabbing people so they didn't slip and fall at some of the steep parts of like the trail race. So like I mean, you have to do this at some point with Oxfit if you have any interest, because it's just the best way to do it with a big team.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is yeah, today's March 31st, so it's technically the last day of Q1 for us.
Yeah.
So you've seen